righty, we are back here. Okay, it's time to get this show going. I know you guys got to see the two people that are going to be on the show. We introduced them earlier, but there is no other way, no other person that can do the introduction like Brother Carter.
Oh, really?
And of course, thank you, darling. There is no other person than Brother Carter that can bring him up on the stage. Right. Bring him on in here.
Good morning, and welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val. This is your main man, Brother Carter. Hey, how y'all doing out there? So we have today's show with Are You Willing to Pay the Cost? Are you willing to pay the cost? And in studio with us live today, we have two very prominent individuals that are able to have this conversation about are you willing to pay the cost, because they have paid the cost to be the boss. Amen. So without further ado, we want you to introduce yourself. So I want to start with the lady. I guess that's y'all camera
right there, right in front of you. Look in front of you.
Over this way.
You're looking at Dick. You right there, honey.
Yeah, camera right
we
there.
Got you.
You're trying to look at yourself on TV. So introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about yourself there before we begin the conversation. Let them know why you qualified to talk about are you willing to pay the cost.
Okay. So my name is Sia Moiwa. Again, I'm a founder of Instrument of God LLC, where I work as a certified trauma recovery coach and Christian counselor. And I am the founder of Konobui Foundation, which is a mental health organization in Sierra Leone, West Africa.
What you say?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Was there, again, he asked a question. See, I got his back. He said, why are you qualified?
So God has qualified me. That's
Come on now, say that thing. That's why you qualified. Okay, Brother Carter.
But she gave her credentials, though. That really gave her idea that she is qualified to have this conversation. So, to my immediate left, introduce yourself, sir.
Good morning. My name is Sebastian Sanders, CEO.
Hold up. Now you just gonna come on my mic and just start with this deep voice.
Get it, Brother
Carter. All right, go ahead and have your way. Yes, sir. Good morning. My name is Sebastian Sanders, CEO and founder at Sanders Hand. We're an international nonprofit organization servicing roughly over 5,000 youth, ages 12 to 25, teaching business and financial literacy training through our Young Billionaires Club program. In addition to my organization, I'm a published author and a youth motivational speaker.
All right. So you sound like you are willing to pay the cost yourself there.
He's qualified to speak, huh? Right. Hello then. All righty.
Qualified ride with the booming system.
Okay. There go Brother Carter. He is in the house.
All right. Now that we've introduced our two, we're going to come with what?
The acronym. All right. We're ready to get this show going.
And as you know, the acronym is to kind of set the tone for the show. So today's show is, are you willing to pay the cost? So the acronym is going to set the vibe. We're going to learn some new words. It'll be fun.
All righty. Come on, Aaron.
Yeah, I like to have fun with Brother Carter with these words.
All right. So our acronym for the day is JOURNEY. J is for judicious, showing good judgment, wise. O is for obstructive, blocking, hindering, interrupting, deliberately causing delays. U is for understanding, having or characterized by comprehension or sympathy. R is for resilience, able to recover quickly. N is for nostalgic, of or related to a longing for something far away or long ago. E is for embittered, angry or resentful about past events. Y is for yearn, having an intense feeling of longing for something.
All right.
Do y'all understand what we're getting ready to go in? What journey we getting ready to go down here?
I'm excited.
I am so excited. Are you willing to pay the cost?
Yeah, in that acronym, I seen myself, I've seen haters, I've seen people that try to hold you back from going where you want to go in life.
Yes.
I've seen doubters,
It's going to be amazing.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that this conversation is definitely going to be something that we all can get something. I think we're going to leave this room today different than when we came in. So I just want to jump on out there and put out there, has there been a cost that you've paid or you feel like that you had to pay or you went through something that has really kind of almost stopped you? it almost kept you from getting to the place that you needed to go, where you're at now. Think about that. I want you guys to think along that line. And of course, my first question is going to be, how has your career path affected your friendship and relationships with others?
Ooh. Just came out swinging.
I'm gonna let Sebastian answer that first.
Okay. And actually, there is another part to that question, but I'm gonna pin that other part because I want a real answer to just that.
Okay. That's right on time for me. You know, my career has affected a lot of friendships because everybody can't go to where I'm going, and so I realized that maybe in college. Right. Actually, when I graduated from college, you know, going into college, you have a whole bunch of friends, you're hanging out with all the homies, everybody's around you. But as you start to find yourself and go on your path to success, you start to realize everybody just can't go with you. And not even just friendships, but, you know, personal relationships as well, you know, family,
Yeah.
you know, so
you can probably go back to high school, leaving high school, and then get some friends you had then. They're no longer there.
Yeah.
They had to stay on the wayside.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
So when you found that you had to cut some people, or should I say God shedded some people out of your life, how did that make you feel personally?
It was confusing in the beginning because I was like 23 years old and I didn't understand it because these are people that, you know, I came out of middle school with and elementary. And so naturally you think those people are going to be with you forever. But as you grow into another phase of life and you grow into the person that you were always destined to be, you start to realize that certain people are only supposed to be there for a season.
Right.
And that's the hardest pill to swallow. But once you really realize that God is removing those people for the better, you know, it starts to ease the pain a little bit. You start to truly understand that it's no bad feelings, but where I'm going, I can't have all this luggage with me.
Wow, lighten the load. Okay, so
you basically don't have time for it. You know that too. You know.
When I think about that question, I had a lot of internal battles with myself. So the relationship with myself. And then, you know, like Sebastian was saying, when you're growing up, you think you're going to be with these people forever until you come into the true identity of who you are and why you're called to be here. So I lost a lot of relationships because I grew up with this codependency with people in my community. And so I took it very hard when God was like, I got something different for you. And I had to, sometimes it was a fight. Sometimes God had to really break the relationship for me. So it impacted me in a way where I went through a season of a lot of isolation. Because God was purging a lot of things out of me. And what I found when I got to the place where I understood what God was doing, I remember one of the friends I had a conversation with, because sometimes when you're going through journeys, you don't understand people's hearts for you. We think everybody loves us. Everybody has a good intent. And I had a conversation with one of my friends from the past and was like, yeah, see, when you was growing up, you know, there was things that you didn't even deserve, you know? And so when you look back, you have to really be intentional about the people that are in your life, in the seasons in your life. So yeah, it was very challenging.
You know, one of the things, what you just said there, people don't realize how powerful their words are. And when they're, depending on this, especially when you're in a certain season of your life, when people are saying things to you, we tend to want to just brush over it, or they expect you to get over it. Those words lie and they lay there deeply.
They do.
And, you know, you're in a place of being purged by God. And then you're hearing things from people that you think care about you or should care. It's almost breaking. It's almost breaking. And I don't know. And since you're trying to recover, your recovery coach, how do you recover from something like that? Or can you recover?
Yeah, you definitely can recover. I think those things play a purpose in your life, right? I think I'll speak for me. I won't speak for anybody else. But growing up, I was always told who I was, what I should be doing, and what I was going to become. So I had to fight those beliefs. And it took, again, community, being surrounded around the right type of people that were going to pour into my life, that seen things about me that I didn't see for myself, and me actually taking inventory of my life. Because there came a point in my life where I realized this is not the way my life's supposed to be.
Come on now.
Right. And so having that come to Jesus moment with God, like, you can go this way or you can go that way. And understanding that wasn't going to be easy, but I wanted to do something different than what I've seen and what I've been through, and making that intentional choice. Okay, God, I surrender. And however you want to do this, do this.
My God.
And so you can, but you have to come to a place where you want it bad enough, right?
And wanting it bad enough does not mean that you don't care about that person, but you want something better for yourself. With that being said, I see Abigail is just over here. She's ready to jump on in here. Look, she can't even. I wish I can let you guys see Abigail. She's sitting on the edge of her chair. Tell me, can I get some? Can I get some? Come on, Abigail. I know you want some.
I'm a big believer in that you are who you surround yourself with.
Yes.
And so if you're surrounding yourself with people who aren't on a similar path or aren't don't have the same values, that's, I feel like, when you need to kind of reevaluate who am I hanging around? Who am I letting influence my daily life, my daily choices, my daily decisions? And so sometimes it's really hard and it can feel really isolating when you're on a certain path and the people around you aren't. And it's not that you're better than them. It's not that, you know, they're on the wrong path. They're just not on your path.
Oh my God. Now that was powerful. You just jump in here. I mean, that alone, I love what you just said, because sometimes when you are in that isolating place, you're not really dealing and hearing from anyone but God. And so that's a time that you need to be there. But also there are some people that don't surround themselves with anybody but themselves. And so their beliefs and their thoughts of how they see life is, what's the word I want to use? It's flawed. Because they're only getting things from themselves. You know, and I want to talk about that a little bit.
You got to also be careful in your isolation state of being. You know, you can find yourself in a depressive state of being isolated. So it depends on how you isolate yourself. How do you set yourself apart? If you're setting yourself apart to better yourself, to improve yourself, that's one thing. But to isolate yourself and just being away from people and not hearing no noise from anyone, that puts you in a state of maybe depression. And so, and like I was hearing you talk earlier about this here, it sound like you may have been in a borderline area of depression, in the isolation area of your life. And so until you came to yourself like the prodigal son did in the Bible, you looked up and you was like, wait a minute, I can't stay like this. I got things to do in life.
But when you look at people with trauma, right, and we see people going through these cycles and patterns, right, some of these things at some point in your life is uncontrollable because it's wired in your system, right? It's wired in your consciousness. It's wired in how you operate, because that's what you've been taught, right? And that's what you believe to be normalization, right? So when we see people going through dysfunction or all these unhealthy behaviors and they don't know how to come out of it, it's because that's what's been wired in them. So we have to unlearn to relearn. And you're right, I did deal with depression because here I am. It wasn't just a physical fight, it was a spiritual fight. Right. You know? So yeah.
And you got to be careful. Words are very, very powerful. And they're like seeds, and they grow and they fest inside of you. And so you have to be careful of the words that you allow to infiltrate, should I say, your being, your personal being. And we all grew up in maybe some kind of dysfunction, so to speak, in life. And what is that racket right there?
Okay. It's like bing, bing. Okay, yes, we did.
But somewhere we have to get to a place where we start putting new seeds in ourselves, and that's when the Bible come in, trying to feed your soul with spiritual words of edification and uplifting of yourself, of oneself. And so, yes.
And the second part of that,
just rambling right now.
No, you're not. That was actually very good. You weren't. Does it ever get in the way, or has it ever got in the way of your journey? And I'm taking that to you, Sebastian.
Yeah. It does get in the way of your journey, because a lot of times when you're on that journey, you're just trying to figure things out. And then when you have those distractions, it pulls you away from your true destiny and your goal. And so, you know, for me, you know, when I first moved to Oklahoma City, when I graduated from college, I was just figuring out life and restarting because I'm in a whole new city and a whole new state. And I was isolated for the right reasons, but I went through some personal things where my younger brother had got cancer at the time. And, you know, my mom is calling me every day and, you know, she's in pain. She's crying. I'm in a whole nother state. I can't really, you know, support how I want to. So a lot of things are just pulling you in directions. And then when you move to a whole nother state, I lost a lot of my friends. You know, only 2 or 3 people actually kept in contact with me after I left from college anyway. And so that's when you knew, like, I'm stepping into a new season of life. And so you're trying to figure out all of these things. And it did derail my journey for a few months until I really had to pick myself up and realize that whatever I'm going through, this is all a part of my process. And it made me a better person, a better business person. It made me a leader. And so all that pain that I went through, I turned it into my passion. And I turned that passion into what I am today. And so I always tell people, you know, you're going to have some roadblocks on that journey, but it's about how you get back. And a lot of people, they get defeated and they just stay defeated. You know, I told myself I came too far to feel defeated. And if I give up now, I'm giving up on all of those kids that I haven't met yet. And that was what kept me motivated.
That's powerful. I mean, I'm sorry, can y'all please? That's powerful. You know, and what I do love what you're saying is that you cannot give up.
Yeah.
You can't. You just can't stop. There is something in there. And I think that defeat comes from that blocker. And that blocker is that negativity that, I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. It's Satan not wanting you. He see the journey that God has for you. And he does not want you to get to it.
But you didn't hear the powerful thing he just said at the end. He said those kids that he ain't even met yet.
I was getting ready. That's where I was going. That's where I was going with that. Yes, because had you not,
I feel you well me up with that.
you know, if you would have given up, you're working with about 5,000 now.
Yeah.
500,000.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? Baby, you can't just cut out. You done took him there. That's a hallelujah praise, okay? So you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. Wow. Oh, Lord, y'all, can we take a pause for the cause? Because the Holy Spirit then came in the room over here. Sorry, guys. Oh, Lord, have mercy when I tell y'all that we had to take a break because the Holy Spirit. Excuse me, real. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
well, we had some technical difficulty.
Oh, I know, Aaron. When we're talking, there we go. We were having some technical difficulties because the Holy Spirit was moving in the room. Brother Carter.
Yes.
Oh God. Since you're sitting over here by this young man that took you there.
Young man of God.
A young man of God. What do you have to say? I don't even know where to go with this conversation now.
Well, I mean, the conversation was good, and I was inspired by something he said about his journey. And the journey wasn't just about him. It was bigger than him.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, the life, you know, when you are truly on the path that God has for you.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry. I thought it's bigger. It's bigger than you.
Wow.
And so
I'm not drinking no more of that stuff I drank last night.
It ain't the drink, baby. It is the heart. It is the heart. We actually, y'all can see we have another young lady that has joined this conversation, Anna. Anna was sitting over there. She has joined the team, and she actually has been one of our guests on the show. And on Monday was her first day, but she couldn't sit in the other room working the comments. She's like, I need some of this. So Anna,
introduce yourself since you're here.
Yeah, come on over here and let the people know who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, I'm Anna, and
scoot up to that mic.
Scoot up a little bit more. I'm Anna. I'm a life and self-love coach and a businesswoman, and I'm happy to be joining the team and just happy to be here and listening to the conversation where you guys were saying it's very powerful.
Okay. And what part of that conversation struck you so much that you wanted to come into the room?
Oh my gosh, what you were saying about how the journey and the people in your life, and how you have to be conscious of those seasons, because we had kind of touched base on that on the show that I was in, and it keeps coming back around, and it's like it's definitely very important to be aware how you need to be paying attention to your journey, and paying attention to the people that are surrounding you as you're growing and becoming the person that you want to become, which is what you were saying. Like, I can't keep being this person or keep hanging out with that person because they don't no longer fall into who I want to be.
Exactly.
My God. Well, we have quite a few questions and comments out there. So, Abigail, if you can, go ahead.
So Coach Bree said this is before we went to break. She said to Brother Carter's point about the seeds we plant. When we start to intentionally change, we have to get to the root instead of attacking our trauma and unhealthy patterns at the branches.
Wow,
Hey,
Coach, well said. Let's talk on that a little bit about attacking the root. Let's talk. We got to pull it up. If you take her question or her statement that she made there, I'm going to throw it at you.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask, let's talk about getting to the root of it and facing it. How should we deal with that? And how can we deal with that?
I mean, you can deal with it in so many. Oh, I'm sorry. You can deal. I'm bad at that. You can deal with it in so many ways. I think really trying to look at where it is that you're trying to go in life, right? Again, taking inventory. What is it that is currently having me go in a cycle and a pattern, right? And yes, sometimes you're going to be afraid to face those things, but remember that you don't have to face them alone, right? Find a friend, find a family member, find somebody that inspires you in your life. No, we don't go along this journey by ourselves, right? No one man can accomplish something, right? So when we talk about addressing the root, that takes time, right? It's not something that you can just jump into and it's like, I have all this trauma, I'm ready to, right? Because your fears of, I think the biggest thing for me is, okay, if I leave this comfortable space, I'm afraid of the unknown.
And the comfortable space is that dysfunction because this is what I know.
Yeah. And even though it's not healthy, it's comfortable, right? And so I think Sebastian touched on this. Growing is scary. Coming out is scary because you don't know what you have to go through, what you have to lose. And you also can be afraid of becoming the person that you're gonna be, right? So I think
that whole unknown.
Yeah, I think when you get to a place that you realize you have trauma, you may not be ready to just jump in and talk to a coach and a counselor. You may have to search Google, your YouTube, right? And get some awareness of what's going on in your life, right? And do that self-inventory and then find somebody who can work you through that process. Because it's a process, right? It's a process to go in your past and realize, okay, what are some things that I experienced as a child that now is impacting my life as an adult, right? Because it, like you said, it always starts from your childhood, your past, right? And comes into your present. And then being able to walk through those seasons of recovery. You're going to grieve, right? You're going to act out, right? You're going to fall into depression because you're digging up things that you have subconsciously put in the back of your mind, right? And not confronted it. So you can't confront those things alone. So I would say that's a starting point. Everybody's journey is going to look different. So I can't sit on here and assess what it's going to look like to dig your roots up.
But I do love that because you have to take an inventory. Coach Bree out here is, come on, Coach Bree. She's enjoying it. But the one thing that she said that lined up with what you're saying is she said, it starts with taking an inventory. You really got to unmask, take that mask off, really start to look at that stuff that's on the inside and face it. And it is scary. So you don't have to go at it alone.
And find a safe place because a lot of us that have dealt with trauma, we're dealing with heavy levels of shame. Right? So uncovering shame, that's another issue in itself, right? So it's a process. It's a journey. In that the word today, it's a journey.
It's a journey. Come on in here, Sebastian.
And so at some point, before you can begin that journey, you have to first recognize because your trauma can be so normalized
Mhm.
and that you don't even realize or recognize that you're in a trauma state of mind.
Yep.
And
Well,
so,
most
yeah.
of the time when a person is in that, they don't recognize it because it's become so normal.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that just
You're
what
not
saying.
you're not admitting it to yourself.
Well, you can't
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you don't see that it's a problem.
Yep.
Oh, you know it.
Not all the
I
time.
think most people know when they not right, and they know
I just
what's wrong,
I
but they
disagree.
don't want. Yeah, I
That's your opinion.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. That's my opinion. As someone that was on drugs, you
Mhm.
know, in my younger days, I
Mhm.
knew I was on drugs.
Mhm.
I knew I was doing wrong,
Mhm.
but I didn't want to recognize it until I just got sick and tired of being in that state.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we have to just get to sick and tired of being
But that's
angry for no reason,
But I
or
think that's
lashing out for no reasons at all.
I think what he's saying, he had an awareness, he had a problem,
Mhm.
but addressing the problem is something
Yeah.
totally
totally
That's
different.
different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess what I'm saying is that not everybody even recognize that that's something that you can
Mhm.
actually say that you were doing, that you
Yeah.
know was wrong,
Mhm.
but someone that has had something traumatic happen to them
Yeah.
as
yeah.
a child, and
Mhm.
it's what they grew up in, they may not necessarily know that this is not normal
Mhm.
because they've been going through
'cause
it
there's
so
a lot
long.
of people on the streets
Yeah.
out there that
And
just,
yes, even like
they don't.
they don't know. So oh wow. Oh Jesus.
Getting
When I-
kinda heavy in here.
When I
Yeah,
tell you,
yeah.
and I saw you over here. Well, actually, I'm gonna go to Sebastian
Okay.
because he leaned into that mic too. And he's like,
Let me
y'all,
jump
I'm
on in
trying to
here.
be polite here. Come on, Sebastian, give us some.
Just to
And we're
piggyback.
not gonna start this. Don't make us have another Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, come on in here.
Really just to piggyback off the normalizing it. I think a lot of that stuff starts in the household,
Mhm.
and we have to peel back generations of pain and trauma to really, really change the future. And I say this speaking from a youth perspective because when I deal with a lot of my kids, a lot of them are young,
Mhm.
and they don't really know what they're going through because everything at home seems so normal to them.
Mhm.
And a lot of that is because the parents have some type of trauma or PTSD that they're putting
Mhm.
onto the child.
Mhm.
But it may not even be the parents' fault. It may be, generations back.
Right,
And so
right.
I think
Mhm.
I think as a culture, we have to do a lot of groundwork and digging to really peel back that trauma to really, really change because people are growing up and thinking some of these things are actually
Mhm.
normal. And it's not normal, but that's all that they know because that's all they was
That's
taught.
all right.
And that's the part that I was saying. I agree with what Brother Carter's saying
Mhm.
when it comes from drugs and things like that.
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
know you're doing.
Yeah.
But when something has been a generational,
Yeah.
it's a little different,
Yeah.
and you don't know it. So I
put a physicalness on a mental issue.
Yes.
Talking about, yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
So I saw you, Anna. Come on in here. Come on in the room because she was over there.
All right. It's a tough subject because today we don't really want to go towards the therapy. We want to do a Google because
Mhm.
like Sia said, we want to Google first because we're kind of ashamed of it, or we're kind of like, what's really happening?
Mhm.
Or we have those that lack the self-recognition or observation, and would rather keep feeling in that comfortable place, even though it makes them feel bad, because
Mhm.
that goes into kind of like something called the pain body or ego, where like
Mhm.
the ego is more comfortable feeling
Mhm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would rather keep doing this activity and keep doing it versus maybe I can become a better person.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and face it.
Because
Yeah.
this trauma is just my trauma. So
Yeah.
if I have to expose it, I have to let somebody
Somebody
else
else know.
know
Yes.
that I have this trauma.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So
Mhm.
come on in.
I think a lot of people also want like a quick fix.
Yeah.
Like when you said
Yeah.
Google, that reminded
Yeah.
me. Like people want a quick fix. They're like, oh, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling depressed, or whatever it is that they're feeling, and they want to like, what can I do right now to fix it? And that's
Mhm.
where people, I think, go into like those bad coping mechanisms.
Yes.
Right.
Whether
Yeah.
it be like through drugs or drinking or
Mhm.
Self-medicating.
self-medicating in any way,
Mhm.
Yes.
rather than doing the work
Mhm.
to kind of really peel back the layers of like
Why
why
do I react to this?
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I think that goes back to what you mentioned about being afraid of it.
Mhm.
Yes, I was actually talking about changing, and a lot of people came up, but I'm afraid of the change.
Yes.
I'm like, being afraid of change is just being afraid of your life entirely.
Yes.
Because,
yes.
yeah.
And a lot of times what we end up doing, well, what can happen is that for people to change, it's fearful.
It is.
However, we stay stuck.
Mhm.
And when you're staying stuck, you're not really coming to the full potential that God has for you, and that you can be a blessing to someone else because you're stuck. You're holding that person, like you said, 5,000. You're holding them back from getting where they got to go because you're afraid of changing and walking into the journey that God has for you.
Well, let's look at what change is. Change is work. And a lot of people don't want to put in the work. This girl here we was talking about earlier. What's her name again? Shakari. Yes. I mean, this girl couldn't be the fastest woman in the world without a lot of work she put in to do this. Especially after the setback. She knew what she could do.
She was doing it.
These setbacks. Yeah. And so that took a lot of work. And one thing about change, I believe, that we don't want to look at the work we have to put in to do the change.
Yeah. I think also when you look at change and coming into something new, we're afraid to feel. And so when Sebastian's talking about young kids, what happens is, and I like to say, in order to heal, you must feel, right? And so when we don't have the language, when we don't have the support, when we don't have the coping mechanisms to regulate ourselves, that's why you see the acting out. Because a lot of us are in survival mode because we've experienced so much trauma, right? So
that's good. That's good.
Okay, we gotta. I gotta. Oh, we got some questions.
It's a comment.
Okay, come on in.
Yeah, it's a comment from Coach Bree. She said, "I also think we resist change due to what the world says. The shame and judgment they can bring will hold us back. Living by Romans 12:2 has been the foundation of my change."
All right.
Coach Bree, you are amazing.
Coach Bree, why don't you go ahead and give us a call?
Give us a call. Yeah, Coach Bree, come on.
Our number's there on the screen. You can give us a call and join in on this conversation.
Yes, I think you will be amazing on this conversation.
You should have put up my favorite scripture there.
Come on.
That's your favorite?
It's one of my favorites, yes.
Okay, Brother Carter.
Go ahead, recite it. From memory, go ahead.
I think she's talking about the part where be not conformed unto this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That is your favorite.
That is his favorite.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on now. Come on. All right. I'm going to throw this out there. And again, this is so that we can continue to conversate on this. As you grow in your journey, whether it be spiritual, career, or just self journey, how have your loved ones reacted to that as you've grown in your journey? Okay, in your journey, I see you. Come on, and that's something that I really.
Some people got jealous.
Okay,
some people say you don't have to do all of that.
Yeah,
doing too much, and why are you doing that? And come on, give it to me.
That's been the hardest part of my journey. I'm not gonna lie. My family has been very resistant because I have a very progressive mindset. I come from a very dominant African culture, so we're not so used to this Western culture. So a lot of rejection, a lot of you think you're different, you think you're better. And I think a lot of people are comfortable and happy in the old person that you are versus the new person that you're coming into. So I've had to learn how to really navigate that. But it's also helped me do some deep work, self-love work for myself, right? Because I think when you are going and you're called to the world,
come on now,
you have to have some type of armor
there you
and not being impacted, because the Bible said even your family would be your enemies. And I'm not saying my family's my enemy.
No, I understand exactly
the lack of understanding on what it means to be called and doing work that is beyond yourself, that's greater than you. A lot of people don't understand that. So they don't understand the vision or the commitment that you have to something. And so that's been the most challenging thing. My family, it's impacted me a lot mentally, physically, emotionally. And I've really had to find solitude in God in that.
God used you.
See, Jesus even shows us in his walk that the closest individual to you will be the ones that
will
hurt
hurt you the most. Yes.
You know, Peter was one of the Jesus' closest and admired disciples.
Yeah.
And he had to tell Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. It wasn't calling him Satan, but he was calling that
spirit. I tell you, this is
like, wait,
it's all in the room.
Thinking about that.
Yes. And the hardest thing sometimes when God has placed you on a journey is just staying focused on that journey and drowning out. And when you love someone, you and the people that you love, you want them to come on because God done showed you how this is going to be something great. And you want everybody that's close to you, around you, to experience it. And when they don't understand, or they don't, what's the word I want to use? When they don't support or they don't latch,
they don't want to come along for the ride.
It's hurtful, but it's your journey, and you have to be strong enough as you're putting on that armor, as you're walking. You have to be strong enough to shake them off, let them go, because it can. I
still love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Okay, come on.
I wanted to ask what y'all think of the saying, "Haters are my motivators."
Oh, okay. Look at Sebastian. Come on. Come on. He went all the way there. And so since he went so deep with his thoughts, let me hear it.
You know, that's it's a powerful quote. I know we hear it a lot, but haters, definitely are your motivators, because haters is not always somebody that you don't know. And I think we all know that sometimes it's a close friend or it's a family member. And I think, to answer both questions, the relationship changed when people don't accept who you are. My aunt and my granny and my dad, they always told me, the man that you are today, we knew that when you were 1-2 years old, walking around the house with books in your hand. So they already knew who I was becoming. But it's certain people who didn't. I guess they didn't want to understand it or want to accept it. And it hurts because, those are people that you love. But I've gotten to a point to now where, like you said, I can love you, but I have to love you from a distance because I'm on a different path. If I sit around and I'm crying every day and I'm depressed every day because you don't want to support me, then all I'm doing is really hurting myself. And before I continue to hurt myself, I will relieve myself from a situation. So I think you got to get to a point in life where you really have to have a strong amount of self-love to walk away from a situation, because a lot of people will sit there and drown in their hate and negativity. Right. I just keep it pushing and keep it smiling, because at the end of the day, I know I have a crew of people that I can depend on who really have real love for me. You just have to accept me for who I am. And
you gotta shake that stuff off that they were trying to plan on.
You gotta get that out
boy,
of here.
You old bookworm, boy. You a white boy.
You get a lot of that.
Yeah, but you have to shake that off, man. Look here, man. I'm not gonna let y'all hold me down.
Exactly.
Okay, come on with I know I see something up there from Coach Bree. She is in the house. Come on, Coach Bree.
She said the issue I had that people were so attached to the old me, the boundaryless me, the doormat me. They had to be reintroduced to this new me, and they just couldn't adapt.
Oh,
wow.
So true.
Can you read that one more time?
I know it's not a mic. I'm gonna use something soft, but
can you read that one more time?
Yes, the issue I had was that people were so attached to the old me, the boundaryless me, the doormat me. They had to be introduced to this new me, and they just couldn't adapt.
Could not adapt.
And I kind of want to expand on that a little bit. I think when people are so used to you kind of just going with the flow, or like always giving in or being a pushover, the second you kind of shift that to be better for yourself, people see that as like an attack on themselves.
Yes.
They're like, well, you used to do this for me, or you used to let me treat you this way.
Or why you're acting like
You've
that.
changed. And it's like, I've changed.
What's wrong with him?
What's wrong with
you?
Yeah.
Well, you have to change, because and when you're going through that process, it's almost like you can't breathe. So once that change starts to happen, I'm going to speak for myself.
And people getting mad with you too.
They will.
I get angry.
For me, I couldn't breathe. It was almost like the change was happening. I've been asking God to give me the strength to do it. And the more I stayed in it, was like I couldn't breathe. And then finally I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't continue to be that doormat. I can't continue to be that person that you felt I should be because it made you feel good.
Mm.
You know, because at no point were you thinking about me.
I see Coach Bree said the same thing I just said. They get mad.
You know, it was just, you gotta keep it pushing.
Because I was just thinking when I said they get mad, I was thinking back in my life, situations in life where I would tend to let things just go.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally said enough is enough,
Mm-hmm.
the buck stopped right here,
Mm-hmm.
and they got mad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, they are gonna get mad.
You know,
They are gonna get mad. They're gonna get mad because you're no longer allowing them
Right.
to
do
misuse
this.
you.
Anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not,
because
that's
it
not
ain't happening no more.
Yeah.
I'm grown out here in
Yeah,
these
that's-
streets. Okay, then. Oh Lord,
Don't look at this.
I can't. I'm
Just
not.
have a conversation.
I am not even. I'm not even looking
have
at
a
that anymore. I
conversation.
just really want to. This is where I want to go with this. Coach Bree said something, and I want to go back to, and I think it was up there where she was talking about the doormat and how people, you know,
Can't adapt.
Can adapt.
Mhm.
Let's kind of talk about that doormat syndrome that you were in, that you felt like it was okay to be at some point in your life. Were you ever a doormat, Anna?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yes, I was. It came from always kind of like from my little being little in my childhood, and I was bullied. I was kind of like, my family always loved me and showed me the love. But then when I got into school, right, not all the kids are loving and everything. So from there, I did create some type of, I'd rather be quiet. I'd rather not say the things. I'd rather them be the pushover. I'd rather them use me, right? And so that came into maybe up until when I was like 19. So, and I was like, okay, I can no longer be the doormat. I want to change my life. So I changed my life. But then still, we're going back to trauma. Your subconscious is still in that area where you're accepting to be the doormat. And so in the last relationship I had, it was not exactly a doormat, but it was definitely pushover. I was definitely like saying, okay, you did this to me. And like, I would stay quiet or not really like fight back or like, or like put a new limit. And then when I finally got out of that and saw like, okay, I love myself more than keeping his doormat or keeping his pushover person. And then, they always try to come back into your life, of course. So when he did try, I was like, no, I'm closing the doors. I'm no longer going to accept this. I don't even want you to touch me, nor hugs, nothing. I was like ice, like pure ice. And
Good for you.
yes. Thank God.
And so when you decided to make that change for yourself, it was, I'm sure it made that other person feel like, oh, you've changed.
Yes. They definitely felt like,
who are you?
Who are
you?
Are you? Where did my Anna go?
Yes.
Like, I'm so confused because like, I know they were probably expecting something out of me and in their head, in the old version, Anna. And I kept telling them like, this is a new version of me. The minute I let you go is the minute I decided to become better for myself. It's the minute that like,
I think nothing else has to be said on that part right there. The minute I let you go, you chose you. I love it. I want to take this from a man's perspective in using women. I mean, we never. I'm sorry. You know, I love to
like,
do this.
I don't do
that. You probably heard of somebody else. Let's talk about that. Men making women. Go ahead. You just go there.
Okay.
Go there.
I can take that back to like my high school days. I wouldn't say I, all the way out used women, but I think I was so full of myself that I never really cared about a woman's feelings back then. And that was just because, you're arrogant, you're full of yourself. But I didn't have any emotional intelligence. And so I think as a man.
Wait, stop. Do y'all hear what this brother just said? What did you say?
I didn't have any emotional intelligence.
There you go.
And I think men go through those phases, and I think it's either up to you if you want to grow out of that phase or not. And some people have to really look themselves in the mirror and reflect back on your past relationships and look at what you went wrong. And, you know, the relationship that I'm in now, everything that I did in the past, I try to, you know, correct and make sure that I'm doing right now, because I was once that person that was, I didn't know how to love a woman. And it was always about me, you know, what does Sebastian need? What does Sebastian want? But I didn't understand, you know, truly how to love a woman and how to be there through all factions of life. And it took me through an opportunity where I had to go through some pain. We was in a 5-year relationship, and we were young.
She flipped the script on you.
Oh, she flipped it at the end.
You think they won't? Yeah.
She got her get back. And,
she got her what?
She got her get back.
Okay.
It hurt me for so long. It took me years, and really to really find myself and truly want to love again, because I didn't know how. You know, I was so heartbroken, and I went through therapy and all that in order to be where I'm at today. So I think you just gotta look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, brother. Young man. How old you said you are?
I'm 26.
You are
all of that.
wise
26
beyond your years. Wow, wise beyond your years. We're just sitting here marveling at you and your wisdom. Young, black, powerful brother. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, Abigail got a hand up here. Come on, Abigail.
Yes, I don't think that it's just a man versus woman thing
Right.
either.
I don't.
I mean, me and you are a similar age. I'm about to turn 25, and I think it's something you learn as you grow up to kind of consider other people and not treat people like a doormat. I think when you're young and you're like going into adulthood, you might treat someone a certain way because you think they're always going to be there. And I was even talking to somebody the other day, and I said, I think it's normal in a way to treat the people closest to you like you take out your anger or your frustrations out on them, because you have a sense of security knowing that they're still going to love you regardless. And when you're young and you're dating, you know, you think that person's going to be there forever. You're naive. You're like, oh no, this person loves me. They're not gonna
leave me.
Yeah, they're not going to leave me or give me any pushback. So you treat them a certain way, and then you realize even if that person doesn't leave you, they might harbor that resentment for you, and then that's gonna deteriorate the relationship quicker than them just leaving you.
Yeah, I think that was really powerful, because I think that a lot of times people think that people, like I said earlier, you get over it, it's there, and until you deal with that thing that you're doing to or have done to someone else or someone has done to you, if you're planning on standing in that relationship, it's not gonna change. You gotta go deal with that.
Yeah.
And so you said you took yourself to some therapy.
Them words are serious.
Yeah. You said I need some help.
Yeah, I had to, because I realized I was running in a circle, and I was running from commitment. And I had met somebody, the love of my life. Now I met her in 2021, and
he said the love of his life.
Yeah.
You know it already. Look how you lit up when you, whoever you are, baby. When this young man, he ain't said your name, but just the thought of you, that smile that came on his face, you are the love of his life. Go ahead.
And when we first met, and we were getting ready to get serious, I ran away. And at the time, I didn't really articulate, what I was going through and what happened. And it took me months to really tell her. And I told her, I said, I wasn't running away because I wanted to go be with somebody else. I was running away because I was afraid to be loved again. And I didn't think that I was worthy of loving someone again, because I put somebody through so much and I was afraid. And it took me months, and I had to go to therapy to really figure out what's wrong with me, because I ran away from somebody that had everything that I wanted, and needed. And, my therapist walked me through it, and she said, you just have to love again. Sebastian, you are worthy of being loved again, and you're young, you're going to make mistakes, but just don't make those same mistakes again. And so if it wasn't for therapy, I wouldn't, know how to love her and be in this relationship that I am in today.
Wow. Talking about getting yourself healthy. And people, it's all about you have to get to a place of getting yourself healthy. And I'm coming to you,
because at the end of the day, trauma like that cause you to not be able to trust also, and you have to work through that whole trust process also to be where you are today. So congratulations, man. You're doing a lot of good things in life, man. Stay on that path, man. Stay on narrow street.
Narrow street.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to put myself out there, as I always do. It's very hard for me to look at someone and really see that person is hurting and they're unwilling or they're incapable at that moment of moving forward, because you can see something great in them, but it's almost like they're stuck. For me, Brother Carter and I have been together for a very long time. And of course, in that period of us being together, there were things that we did to each other that hurt each other. And so sometimes it was hard for me to just say, I can't do this anymore. But when I said it and I started working through that, I think it helps both of us. There are times when even now we may get into disagreements, but we're able to work through it because there is nothing, I believe, that we can go through that we're not able to conquer. And so, but I do think therapy is a very powerful thing. And the fact that you did that as a young man and you recognize that you were damaging someone else in relationships, but the fact that you also recognize that you mistreated that young lady and you thought that you was so all that she would get her comeback. You understand what? She that's a pain that you can't ever it's not going to just go away, you know, because she going to get her comeback.
See, there's a song I sung to you back in 1978 by McFadden and Whitehead that I still rely on today. You are my someone. Yeah, you need to listen to that song. It's a very powerful song. You are my someone.
Okay, well, just give him a few words for that. Just don't sing it. Just just say the words.
You know I sing it now.
Well, go on here, baby. Go on here.
I ain't gonna hear that.
Just
want you to Google it.
No, give him a little bit
Google
because there may be someone out there. Just those words are powerful.
Okay, whenever there's a problem, there's no doubt. I know you and me, we can work it out, yeah. And when I'm in need and I'm feeling low, yeah, I'm so very glad I've got a place to go, and you.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Y'all understand what he's saying. Y'all understand what he's saying.
You know, I don't have the pipes like I had in 78.
You know, I just, and I'm the reason I push for him to go there is I know I can go there. I know that he's there. And I was raising that because sometime in a relationship, we want to throw the towel in. And we feel like it's over. Is it worth it? For me, I know we can
work it out.
We can work it out.
All right.
So we got some questions and comments, baby. I'm sorry. I know they got a little personal, but that's how it goes sometimes.
We have another comment from Coach Bree. She is killing it today.
Hey, come out.
She said, that's amazing, Sebastian. It takes a lot of courage and accountability to look at yourself and then intentionally seek the help to make that change. I love that.
Thank you. Coach Bree been on the show before?
No, but
Coach
she could be.
Yeah, we're gonna have to reach out to her.
Coach Bree, we appreciate that comment. I just want to take this out here. I want anybody to take anything you want to put on the table, and let's just go with it. And I'm turning to you.
Anything I want to
Put on the table because we're going to deal with some trauma, whatever. We're along the line. Are you willing to pay the cost? There is someone that is listening right now, or maybe will listen later, that we want them. You want to help them. You want to give them something.
Wow.
Put it out there.
I would say don't compare your journey to anybody else's.
Start there.
I think that it's very important to go through your seasons understanding the reason why you're going through what you're going through. I like to tell a lot of my clients, people come in your lives for seasons, reasons, and lessons. And we need to be able to identify those three people in our lives because we're talking about what impacts us from really getting to that place of milk and honey, that place that God has called us to walk and conquer in our lives. And so it's important that as this generation, I'll say this generation, because we are such a hands-on generation, an instant gratification generation, right? Like, don't try to run your race before it's your time.
Oh, come on.
Know that everything that is purpose for your life is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And I think the most important thing is heal from what your parents have gone through, what they've taught you, what you were said you should have become. and just find yourself and love yourself, right? Like we all are going to change and we're going to have all our imperfections, but loving yourself really allows you to show up as your best self.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Get a little chills.
Oh God. Sebastian?
I just want to piggyback off what she said. That journey, when you're going through that journey and you're trying to figure out in the comparison, it'll definitely kill all motivation that you have and all the drive that you have. You have to live your life. And I think social media has became such a powerful force where we use it to learn, but a lot of people get on there and they see somebody post something and they compare themselves instantly. You don't know what he or she went through to get to that moment. And then everything is fabricated on social media. So we can't always believe what's out there. So I think it's important. You just have to live your life. And I think you really just have to define what is your success. Coming from a Black community, success for a male is either gonna be a rapper or an athlete. People look at those two, and if you're not dressed in something like that, then people will look at you like, well, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be an astronaut or a scientist or a doctor or anything like that, because it's not cool. It's not cool. It's not the cool thing to do. I think you have to personally define your success. And success should not be equated to money or fame. I think we get those two misconstrued. For me, if I can inspire one person today that I wake up, that's a successful day for me. And so that's what it's all about. I think you really have to define what success looks like for you. Not what your mama said, not what your daddy said. Define what it looks like for you. And you have to go after that each and every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anna?
Oh, wow.
Lean in.
Leaning in. Truly, I think the path is starting to love yourself. Start to love yourself and understand who you are, where you come from, and where you want to go, for sure. And don't be afraid of what is thrown at you in life, what you want to accomplish in life, and be loving yourself throughout the entire process.
Oh, wow.
Do not lose sight of yourself, for sure.
Beautiful. Brother Carter, come on in here.
Man, in this journey we call life, I think I'm listening to everything you guys were saying there, and I'm gonna look at it as if it's a race. And I can't pronounce that girl's name, but she keeps popping up in my head. Shakari. I'm so proud of her, but she could not have won her race had she got out of lane 8. So she had to know. And so we have to know your lane. You have to know your lane in life and be able to stay your race in your own lane. Because if you get in somebody else's lane, you done got out the race already. You disqualified yourself. And so you must learn in this journey again and again. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Know what you're good at. Know what you can do in life, and stop looking to your left and to your right and seeing what they doing, because that's not your purpose.
Okay, Abigail.
Yeah, I kind of think everyone said it really, really nicely. And I think we're all kind of essentially saying the same thing. It's important to, be on your journey, and you may not know where you're going to end up, but as long as you keep moving forward, and I mean, this is easier said than done, but just don't give up. Things are hardships are inevitable. You're going to go through things in life that are going to, bring you back a few steps, or things that might put you in a place that you don't necessarily think you should be or where you want to be. But as long as you keep, taking those steps to move forward in any direction, and not comparing yourself to other people, because everyone's journey is different.
So true.
And just because, someone got maybe got over this hardship quicker than you can, that doesn't mean that they're better, they're smarter. Everyone has their own journey and their own struggles that they go through as well.
100%.
Sometimes you have to cross hurdles to finish that race in life,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it on the track right now. Next week I'm gonna have another analogy.
Here you go, y'all. Here you go, Aaron.
I definitely hear what y'all are saying, and I don't know. I think Sebastian was the one who mentioned it earlier, as like someone brought up the idea of identity, right? Because on the one hand, you want to figure out who you are, but on the other hand, you're always going to grow and change. So you and yourself, no matter what community you're in or like circumstances that have been, dealt in your hand of life kind of thing, at the end of the day, you have to figure out what values do you want to see consistently in your life, because how you're going to express that might change over time as you're given the capacity and the platform to do that.
Aaron,
Oh, y'all deep on
I
here
think
today.
I need a clap. Come on, come on, y'all. That one there. I think everybody's perspective here is so befitting for this time. And the reason I went around the room on that particular thing is because when I think about why God put me on this journey, is that if someone would have been there, I had great parents, not taking anything from my parents. They were the best parents that God could have given me. However, growing up, I wish I would have had a safe place that someone could have poured into, or I felt comfortable going to. And I know God have me on here just to have a conversation. Through the conversation, people grow. Life change, like your life can change, but just having an opportunity to pour and share myself open, authentically, and you guys too, because you're helping someone. Yes.
I like that you said that because, again, not taking anything from my parents either, but I've always felt like the person that people turn to for advice or because they need something. But they always say, like, check on your strong friends. Because, they need that support system too. And just because, you have someone that you can lean on and rely on, make sure that you're being that person for them too.
Yes. It's amazing you say that, because I got someone checked on me the other day. And my team always does it, and I love them so much, because the mask that I put on sometime, and it's not really a mask, it's that you have to keep going. You have to keep going. And Erin is real good at saying, she'll call me or she'll say, can I pray for you? And, Abigail, I'll come in and she'll look at me and say, is everything okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And they're used to seeing you go and check on your strong friends. And so I appreciate that. Okay. I think this show has been amazing. We have some more questions and comments. Let's go.
Yes, we have a question from Coach Bree. She said, what advice do y'all have for the people who want to change, but they can't make progress because they are pouring into everyone else and leaving nothing for themselves?
Oh, everybody. Coach Bree, it's like a classroom in here. Baby, they got their hands up. Go ahead, Aaron. What advice?
How can you, let me make sure. Yeah. How can you pour what you don't have would be my question. Because if you're stretching yourself so thin to the point that you're pouring into everyone else, you have no reserve for yourself. So when I'm saying like you're pouring into what you don't have, when in reality, like you have to get to a point where you can actually talk and address yourself. If you're pouring yourself out to the point that you have nothing left for you, you're not actually pouring out. You're just giving something that's kind of on rent kind of thing, like on a little credit card.
Okay, then. All right.
Let's go to the licensed
After
individual.
did you have something on that? Okay, go ahead. We're going to go over to the.
Oh, everybody's looking at me.
Come on. That was
that is a compounded question. I think first I would ask in my brain, what are you running from and what are you trying to fix? And then I would say, take some time to do this give and expect back, right? Like when I'm working with my clients, I say, give a little and see what you get back, right? Because everything in life is about an exchange, right? We have to understand that it has to be reciprocated so that you learn what it is to receive, but also give in measure, right? So we have like this spoon kind of analogy, like I'm gonna just give a spoon of something and see what I get back. So I think starting off small, not trying to cold turkey, right? Because there could be a lot of things going on with why you're a person that's always giving and pouring into people, right? It could be because you want to be loved and accepted, right? So you think if I do that, someone's gonna love me, someone's gonna
see me. Yeah.
And so for someone that's struggling with that, I would say take a small step back and ask yourself, what am I running from? What am I trying to fix? And then start to pull back a little bit, give into yourself and see what it feels like to really just love yourself and give to yourself.
Ooh, excellent. Okay, Coach Anna.
Gianna. All right. Change is a very profound progress and word too. So if you are constantly pouring into somebody else, you cannot find enough energy, enough time, enough consciousness to be able to find the change you want. So first and foremost is definitely, like you said, like Sia said, you have to pull back. You have to realize and be conscious, self-aware that, okay, I want to change, but I'm helping others change before I'm helping myself change. So become self-aware. And for me, my personal, what I do is I ask myself questions every day. And I'm going to ask myself, if it relates to change, I'm going to go, who do I want to change into? Or where can I start my change? So before you even want to change, ask yourself the self-awareness questions for sure.
I love it. Yeah. Okay. Come on in here, Sebastian.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so I think it's important that
he just coming here with it. He just coming. Wait a minute. Are you related to Brother Carter? Yes. Come on in here.
I just don't think you can pour from an empty cup. And so if you're wanting to change, but you keep pouring into others, in order to give the best version of yourself, you have to become the best version of yourself. And so you have to change before you try to give to others. And I think that's where a lot of us kind of get into trouble, where we want to help everybody, but we're not even the best version of ourselves. And to me, that comes off kind of fake. I don't want to be in front of a whole bunch of people, preaching a life that I'm not even living. So that's where it comes from me.
You know what? I love you.
It's spoken like a true preacher right there.
Oh my God. Okay, then it's time to wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
And I thank y'all.
What you got?
Thank you.
I just want to say thank y'all. Are you willing to pay the cost? This table, this conversation, are you willing to pay the cost, has been amazing for me. It's shown me, yes, I am willing to pay the cost. Yes, I have paid the cost, and I will continue, because that person behind me, the person that's coming up the rear, they deserve for me to keep paying the cost for them until they're able to do it on their own. So we're connected to someone else behind us doing better. If I stop, as you said earlier, if you would have gave up, what about them 5,000? Ooh, so I'm gonna take
5,000.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn.
Yeah, 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread.
I'm gonna turn this around, and I want you guys to.
Before you take off,
Okay,
I wanna address this question that was
I appreciate
posed up there by Coach Bree about pouring into others and not being able to have that reciprocated back unto you. And my mind went to when you give from your heart and your heart, mind, and soul, you do it without expecting anything back. But if you go into it with expectations of getting something or back to you, then you've already went into it with bad motives, should I say. And those bad motives are going to come back to haunt you if you're doing it just to receive something back from yourself. So that's what I say on that.
All right, Brother Carter.
Do it from your heart.
Stop being don't be fake. If you're doing it,
do it from your heart.
Don't be fake. Yeah. Oh my God. We're gonna go around here, and I guess I'm gonna start with Anna, the latecomer to the room, and share what you came, how they can find you, what you got out of the show today, and how do you feel being a part of the Love and Victory Show with Val?
Well, today out of the show, I got that speaking from the heart and your inner wisdom is the best way to go about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love how, they put me up here. I was not ready completely, but, I'm speaking from what I know and from my heart for sure. You can find me on YouTube as Living Life with Coach Anna and on Instagram as coach.anna4life.
All right, then.
And see, Anna wasn't even supposed to be on the show today.
Yeah.
She happened to be in the building and just couldn't take it. She said, I got to get on
I
here.
got to get some of this. So, all righty. And then I'm going to tell
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for joining the team.
Of course.
It's amazing to have someone like yourself to be a part of what God is doing with the Love and Victory Show with Val.
And I'm willing to pay the cost.
Okay, then. I love it. Okay. And of course, I got to get this right.
Let me get this.
Sia.
Sia.
So just remember, see you later.
Oh,
Oh.
no, see you soon.
Yeah.
See you soon. Okay, come on, what do you think?
So what I got out this show is just there's power in community,
Mhm.
connection, and that, people really do have a heart to do good out here. We're doing good work.
Mm-hmm.
And people really do care for people at
Yes.
the end of the day, like
Yes.
regardless of what's going on in this world. So where you can find me at is on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Instrument of God LLC and at www.instrumentofgod.com.
Okay, then. And what has been your experience on the Love and Victory Show with Val?
Oh, I always love coming here and having a great conversation and just authentically being myself and sharing my own experiences and what I've learned along the way.
And I love having you here too. We
Thank
love
you.
having you here. And Sebastian.
For me, what I took away from the whole conversation is many are called and few are chosen. And so coming in here today, it was one of those, I think every once in a while, God kind of reminds you of where you're going and just to keep going. And so that's, it was powerful to be here. I absolutely loved it. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Sebastian J. Sanders. You can follow our organization at SandersHand.org on Instagram and Facebook. And you can visit our website at www.sandershand.org, where you can learn more about our programs, volunteer, and donate to our organization. And you can come visit our Young Billionaires Club thrift store that we just opened up last Saturday, actually.
Come on now,
last
Sebastian.
Saturday. 12579 Richmond Ave, Suite 600, Houston, Texas. We're open every day except Monday.
All righty then. This is a young man doing great things.
Thank you.
Talking about pouring back in. And Brother Carter.
Well, first, I want to just say thank y'all for coming into the show today.
Thank you.
All three of you.
Thank you.
Even though you wasn't supposed to be on the show today. Particularly Sia and Sebastian. It's been a pure joy just having you guys on the show today. And I hope someone was pressed with something in their hearts to do something better in their lives, as I was inspired today by hearing the chosen words. I do want you guys to do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the three people.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about them three people. Say them three people again.
Oh, I said seasons, lessons, and reasons. Yeah.
Season, lessons, and reasons.
Mhm.
All right. We want to remember those three people as we go through this journey in life. And Sebastian, you said something about emotional
intelligence.
Yeah. Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I just want those words to just ring out on this show today because they are very powerful.
Yes, sir.
And so we have to learn how to get the emotional intelligence because most of us are lacking.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on.
So thank you guys for those wonderful words of encouragement. It's just a pure joy just having you on the show today.
Yes.
And of course, I want to again say thank you. This show blessed my heart. I knew that I was going to walk out of here different than when I came in. You guys set the tone. And you never know when God sets you up for a come up. Thank God for setting me up today. I needed just what y'all gave me today.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. This is what I needed. And when I tell you my Saturday is going to be great, my Sunday is going to be even better, and my week is going to be amazing because of this show and you guys today. So thank you for those that are listening and those that are going to listen later. Thank you guys for tuning into the Love and Victory
and
show.
And again, before you leave, this show is nothing without the two behind the scenes over here. It's Abigail and Aaron. We want to give them a shout out as well.
Always. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Lord. You see, this is why my show is so great. They just kind of do what they do, and that's why I love it. Come on in here, Abigail.
I just wanted to let everyone know to follow us on all social medias at LV with Val. You can download the LV with Val app.
Yeah.
Where we have music for you guys 24/7. We also have other talk shows throughout the week. We have Tasteful and Toxic on Wednesdays at 8 a.m.
That's Brother Carter's
That's
show.
Brother Carter's show. We also have Mental Wealth with Steph Tuesdays at 6 p.m.
6
p.m. Yes.
Mhm.
We also have VK Career Conversations. That's on the first and third Monday at 8 a.m.
Yes.
No.
Sorry, we gotta
Okay.
go through all
And we
that.
got
You got it.
we got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other stuff coming in.
Yeah.
So you never know. Y'all might hear somebody in this room. I'm real soon. I ain't the one to gossip. But anyway, then again, until next Saturday, everybody can look at the camera and tell everybody.
See
bye.
ya.
We love you. Bye.